She is one of Vancouver's most active DJs in the scene, creating, curating, and contributing to her community. This producer DJ has an inspiring and relentless hustle, performing at prestigious music festivals like Bass Coast, Notion and Snowbombing Canada, just to name a few, while also holding down residencies at M.I.A. Gorg-O-Mish Afterhours. It is my pleasure to introduce to you, if you don't already know, the amazing performer, Sivz. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, man, you have had a hella busy summer with festivals, hey?
Oh my God, yes.
It's amazing. I love it. So I would love to hear how you've gotten to where you are today. Take us back to the early beginnings of the Sivz.
Okay. Well, when I was a lot younger, I used to kind of be really into music. I would play like guitar, piano, drums, sing, write my own songs, did that as a teenager. And then kind of dropped all of that and went to business school, got a degree in marketing and psychology, and just kind of like abandoned this whole music dream I had. And it wasn't until after I graduated university that I just started going out a lot. I would, go to like Ginger 62 and Gorg-O-Mish here in town, like every single Saturday night, start to hit a bunch of underground parties, and then was enjoying it so much and starting to realize that music really was my passion. Even after so long, I just couldn't really escape it. So after going out a lot to clubs, I started to become a promoter there just because I was bringing so many people. I was there all the time. I was meeting people. And it was when I did that that I met all the local DJs. There was just like a ton of them that were around. Eventually I asked my friend Gellert to teach me how to DJ. And when he did, it was just like something I'd known my whole life. Because whenever I would go out clubbing, I would always hear the next track the DJ would be queuing in way before anybody else had picked up on it.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think that counted for anything. I didn't think I had the ear, nothing. So when he kind of showed me how to mix, I was just like, oh my God, this is just amazing. And I was really, really hooked on it. So from there, I really just took every gig that I could, even when I didn't feel like I was ready, when I was brand new, because I knew everybody in the scene. I was, people were throwing me gigs, trying me out. I took gigs feeling super unprepared. I train wrecked some, I killed some. And then I just, it snowballed from there. Eventually, I landed my residency at M.I.A., which really opened doors. And then I, started playing alongside all my idols and opening for these big shows, and then it just kept going from there, really.
Yeah. I remember I was doing a live stream and you were chatting in it. I think that's kind of how I learned about you. And then I got pregnant and shut off my Facebook, and then I came back and I was like, whoa,
oh yeah,
doing so much stuff. Like,
I know.
So inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. What some people may not know about you is that you're also a copywriter. I imagine that is really helpful in, your branding. Do you have any tips you might give artists that are trying to get across to their audience?
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because so many people, just based on how much I do, think I am just a full-time DJ producer, and they're always shocked to find out that I have a full-time day job where I'm writing all day. Mm-hmm. For me, it really helps because, well, I mean, a lot of people are like stronger in a lot of different ways in their branding. Like some people are really good visually, and their like Instagram feed looks amazing, and they do really good with their designs and their posters and whatnot. Like some people are really good producers. Like there's always like a little skill set that someone's a little bit, stronger in. For me, it's writing because that's just what I've been doing since I was like really young. I've just been writing since like the 4th grade. So it's really come in handy when it comes to things like, writing my website or my bio or my social media posts or telling my story, this and that. It's just like me expressing myself, and it comes very naturally to me. But one thing I'll say about, like branding yourself is the fact that you don't really have to brand yourself if you really think about it. I mean, I didn't really go out and decide, oh, I'm going to go to the salon, I'm going to dye my hair red, I'm going to play this kind of music, I'm going to be this kind of person. I just was myself. And then I just kept putting myself out there just as Silva or Sivz or however you know me. So I think, you know, like, capitalize on your strengths, ask for help when you're not so great at something. Like, I am no good with design or all these things, and I just ask somebody that's you know, can help me out or like supplement me in one way. And yeah, honestly, just be yourself and just do you, and I think success will come from there.
Oh, I love that you say that authenticity, like just being yourself, being vulnerable, being whoever you are, because you're going to attract your tribe that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, people always like come to me and they're like, oh, you know, you have your brand down, like, you know, you have it all figured out.
Yeah.
This, that. And it's like, well, I mean, not really. Like, I did go to school for marketing, so I know a thing or two, but also it just kind of happened. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people too that, you know, have made it really big, it just kind of happened that way too. So I think also don't try and over plan. You know, if you do like funny like video skits on your Instagram, like make that part of your branding. If you do like something special or quirky or whatnot, just be you, because it's so cheesy, but it's true. Everyone else is taken.
Yeah. That's cute. I like that.
Yeah.
So you're so incredibly busy. It's so phenomenal. Watching your feed, I'm just like, this girl, she has got to be efficient. You're efficient, right?
I wouldn't say so.
Well, how do you think that you keep things sorted and on point? Because not only do you have the day job and the traveling, but you make music as well.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's been a lot of learning through experience now that I'm able to prioritize. But, you know, I've been DJing for like 4 years, and the producing has just kind of come second for me to kind of grow myself and start going, you know, outside of the local scene. But yeah, you know, I do work full time as well. I do also like manage some bookings for MIA, and I started a few other projects, and I'm just kind of a crazy go-getter, and when I start doing something and I find out I'm really passionate about something, I want to do everything. So rather than focusing on, okay, I really want to nail these gigs, I was like, oh, I want to start my own night, I want to start my own projects, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I just was doing all of it somehow. Yeah. Well, but I wouldn't recommend it. So only now, like 4 years later, am I starting to prioritize and see where my energy is going, and if, you know, I can like hold back here and there, or if certain things don't really have to be done right now. I think what really helps is figuring out your long-term goals, because I started like a mini like DJ agency, and I was focused on that for a while, and then started my own night as well. I've been doing all of these things, and I just realized that, you know, I'm not Superwoman, I can't do it all. So I started to really think, hey, what is it I want to do most, which is tour the world through music, and, you know, wake up in a different city every day and just worry about writing songs and connecting with people and sharing my music. So now I'm taking a step back, now that I've kind of done that exercise, and they're like, you know, what's more important here and what can wait. So honestly, I have no answer for you, no secrets here. I think you just have to go through it and then figure it out for yourself.
That really resonates with me, and it's so relatable to a lot of artists, I think, because you have to test out different things. What am I into? What kind of music do I like to play? What kind of music do I want to make? Is it actually the stuff I want to play? You're talking about, you know, running these nights and agencies. I feel like, yeah, totally. Sometimes you have to put too much on your plate to realize what you actually want to eat. And I like that you're taking a step back now so that you can focus on the things. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like that's a part of the process. Like you're saying, that trial and error to see, okay, what am I really passionate about?
Yeah, definitely. And I've learned a lot about myself too. You know, I always thought, you know, running events would be like a total nightmare, and it is in a sense, you know, there's ups and downs, but I didn't really know I had a thing for programming nights or booking DJs or knowing what works, or having an idea and running with it, like, you know, all those things I kind of figured out along the way. I was like, oh, I actually, you know, I do throw good events, or, oh, I do, you know, this and that, or like, yeah, I do have a knack for this. So I'm really glad I've done all of it, but like now is the time to kind of focus, and there's also things I'm not great at, so leave it to someone else.
Yes. Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I feel that. I used to throw events quite often, and I would want to take on everything because I wanted to be in control. And sometimes you're just like, let's delegate. Let's get rid of the stress.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to do because when something's your baby and your vision, you just want to do it all. So we're all living and learning.
Speaking of your baby, you are co-founder of Beginnings, the nonprofit helping DJs to get out of the bedroom and into the DJ booth. You know, we've talked about this on other episodes with DJs about building community. In your opinion, how important is encouraging other artists, and how do you think people can be a part of that?
Honestly, I started Beginnings to give back because, you know, the people that inspired me, the people that got me my first gigs, the people that came out and supported me, like all of that happened on a local level. It was all people that took a chance on me and used their networks, or were already like in a club, or already playing and needed an opener, and, you know, that just tried me out. And I was so thankful for that. And then I really just met a bunch of DJs that, you know, were really talented, or like didn't have the connections, or, you know, weren't in with like Blueprint or Twisted or these event companies, and really just didn't even know how to get that first gig. And some of them were really experienced DJs that had moved from like Calgary or elsewhere and just could not figure out how to kind of get, you know, how to network their way in. So I started Beginnings pretty much to give back and also use my network. Like, hey, maybe you don't know everybody, but I do. And, you know, people are always looking for openers, and, you know, like, why not give somebody else a shot? So it really is just like a project of mine that's really dear to my heart. You know, it makes me so happy when I see someone starting out DJing and they think they're not good enough, and they are, and they just need that confidence boost. They need that connection, and then they're so happy when they do it, and then they honestly get just addicted like I have been, and then they end up going on and starting their own nights and contributing to the scene and whatnot. So the more the merrier. And, you know, it was just one way for me to do that, and I've seen a lot of good talent come out of it, and people that I've never even met also that I discovered through submissions that are playing really great gigs right now. So it's just, yeah, it's really great to see. And I think, you know, if you are a DJ and your friend is starting out, like, help them out, you know, do what somebody else did for you. The more the merrier.
I love it. Yes. So as someone that is performing quite frequently and has experience booking talent, what do you feel what do you feel that promoters are watching out for when they're booking their talent, and how do you think they're going about deciding, I want to book that person again and again and again?
Mm-hmm. There's lots of things. I think the first thing is, you know, is that person actually a supporter of the night? You know, are you going to book someone that sends you like an email that just wants to play, or are you going to book someone that shows up every single weekend, there for the music, there for the party, actually not even expecting to be booked, and, you know, is just actually a supporter of the night? So I think that's number one, especially, you know, Vancouver is a small city, and like promoters really appreciate it when they see you showing your face, like, you know, whenever you can. So that's one thing. It's like, does the person come to the club? Do they know the sound? Do they know the night? Another thing is that it's really great when you book a DJ and they play according to their slot. There's nothing more painful than watching the ones that come in and bang it out and try and headline, and it's 10 o'clock and they haven't done their research for who's playing after them. So someone that actually like does their research, puts in the time, has, you know, respect for their role, their slot, you know, the vibe of the night. You know, we obviously know like lots of DJs can like play a killing like headliner, banging set, but when you see someone actually try and like play a really good opening slot and do it really well, you want them back. Following is definitely important. Like, it really, really does help when you're able to like really rally a crowd. But at the same time, you know, sometimes people are like newer to town and they don't have a huge following, and they're just like really passionate about the night or want to help out here and there, and also do a good job with you know, respecting the night and what's been started and following that vibe. So I think those are some of the main things.
I really love that you mentioned the part about like respecting the time slot, because I feel like most of us have made this mistake ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And then we wonder, why didn't I get booked again?
Opening is an art. It really is.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, something that really stood out to me in your biography, and this warms my heart, was something, it was, music aside, Siv's character is perhaps the biggest contributor to her success. Can you share with us what that looks like?
I think it's a number of things. I think for one, I'm just very ambitious and such a go-getter and really stubborn. And when I set my mind to something, I'm going to do it. Yeah. So a few years ago, I actually wasn't even a copywriter. I was just like a marketing graduate, and I wanted to be a copywriter. And I did everything that it took to be that. So I went, you know, I got some more schooling. I did a course. I took copywriting internships. I, you know, built myself up from nothing. And when I did that with music, I did it the same way too. I really, really, really hustled. I took, you know, unpaid gigs. I took shitty gigs. I took, you know, I just really just did everything and anything to really build myself up. And then the fact that, you know, I really do try and give back, because I remember when I was starting out and I had a couple of DJs that were idols of mine that I reached out to here and there, and, you know, can you give me feedback on this mix, or, you know, this and that, and they never gave me the time of day. So I always remember being like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be better than that. So that's why I did start something like Beginnings, and, you know, and I always, like, 8 out of 10 times will listen to a mix or like production or whatnot, and I really just do try and help. So I think those things have made me successful without me even really trying to make that a thing. You know, the ambition was always there, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, especially if you tell me that I can't do something, I'll do it twice. So I work really, really hard in that sense, but also, you know, I just try and contribute to where I came from, which is here, the local nights, the local DJs. It's just like where I come from, and I want to give back in that sense. So I think it's both those things. Yeah,
I think that stubborn quality of, oh, you tell me you can't do it? Well, I'm going to. That's a great quality to have.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it really is.
And, you know, like, music aside, because your mixes, your track selection are on point.
Thank you.
What you're saying here is that it's not just that. Like, it's great that your music can speak for itself, but, like, let's look at the whole person. With that being said, can you tell us about any upcoming projects that you've got going on? Anything that you would like to end this interview with?
Oh, let's see. I've got my next big gig would be Notion, which is not next weekend, but the one after that. So it's creeping up. And I've got 2 sets then, which I'm really excited about. And one is actually a late night set on the main stage, and one is like a massive, like, back-to-back daytime jam session, both of which will be really fun. I also started my own night called Sylections, which happens at Deep Down Inside at M.I.A. I started it to kind of highlight a different subgenre of house each time. So one time we had like a G-Tech vibe, and I brought like Case of the Mondays down from Whistler, and then a few other support acts. Another time we did like our super loungy, vibey vocal disco house, and we had like Diana Boss headline that one. And then I started bringing headliners as well. So I'm kind of just like continuing to build that. Yeah. But at the same time, as I said, like, trying not to do everything, trying to build that really slowly and really focus on producing. Because I feel like there is this producer in me, and if I just spend the time and really learn, I'm just going to get hooked, and I know I can do great things. So I'm working on my first release that's just my own, because the one I have out right now is done with Shane Patrick Riley on Shepherd Records. So I'm really excited to finish up my own track, and while I'm finishing that, I'm also working on an EP of 2 similar kind of funky, techie tracks. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to actually just like starting to explore that side of me, and scale back on the gigs and see where it goes from there.
Ooh, I cannot wait to hear these tracks. I'm so excited for you. And again,
thank you.
Again, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I feel like our viewers are going to get a lot from this interview. And I would hope that if there are any other DJs you'd like me to interview on this series, definitely let me know and tag them so that we can hit them up.
Definitely.
Yeah. Until, yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, specifically you. I know you've got like a lot of really fantastic DJ producers that, yeah, send them my way for sure.
I will, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for this interview. If you guys dug it, make sure you let us know in the comments below anything in particular that really stood out for you. And as always, don't let no one kill your vibe.